ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שהכל נהיה בדברו. What are the sources of our Jewish tradition? You know, it was Muhammad who said that we are the people of the book because we have a book, the Bible. That's where the laws, that's where the guide of how one should behave. Also history of the Jewish people, that is all contained in that book. But that book wasn't sufficient. Afterwards, people tried to explain the different things, and something called the Talmud came into being centuries later that picked up what was known as the oral law. Basically, in the land of Israel and the land of Babylonia, Iraq of today, there were great academies of study, and during centuries, we have the notes of the conversations that took place there, and that is called the Talmud. However, like in any conversation, one goes off on a tangent, and you speak about one thing, and then you speak about something else, until some great Jewish scholars, Maimonides and others, came and ordered that into chapters and sub-chapters exactly where the laws of Shabbat are, where the laws of other festivities are, where the laws are, what you have to do in the morning, and so on, prayer, study, and what have you. Okay, so all that is contained in what is called the Talmud. But the Talmud also has certain basic principles, and I want to share with you one of these principles that comes from my teacher, Rabbi Soloveitchik, which is the Brisker. He comes from a city called Brisk. That's where his ancestors came, establish a certain mode of understanding, principles that guide some of the laws, especially in the Talmud, in the oral law. Now, let us say, for instance, on the holiday of Sukkot, that's called tabernacle in English, the Torah tells us you shall take 4 species. You have to take the fruit of a nice tree, of a beautiful tree. The Torah doesn't specify what fruit that is, but our rabbis say that is called the etrog. It's part of the citrus family. You have to take that fruit. You have to take a palm branch. You have to take myrtle, and you also have to take sauce, como se dice, aravar. Hold on.
You have to.
No, but I know it. Hold on. I wrote it down because I knew I wasn't going to say know it.
Wirlo.
Myrtle. Myrtle is, and the other one is.
El sauce lloroso que se llama.
Hold on. Willow.
Willow. Yo te dije.
Willow.
Yo dije weirdo.
You have to take 4 species. You have to take a fruit of a beautiful tree. The Torah doesn't say exactly what fruit that is, but rabbis say that is called etrog. That is a part of the citrus family, a specific fruit. It's not abundant in these countries, but in Morocco you find it in Italy. You find it around in the Mediterranean, basically. You also have to take a palm branch. You have to take leaves of myrtle and also willow. All these 4 things together. What if you're missing one of these 4 items? Then you have not fulfilled the obligation, because the obligation is to take all the 4. What do you have to do? You have to hold them together. That is what you have to do. On that day, you have to hold these 4 together. Do you have to have certain thoughts about it? No. That is how you fulfill this obligation. Why is that? Maybe it has some agricultural significance or what have you, because Sukkot is the end of whatever you're going to garner from the earth. No more produce of the earth, because winter is about to set in. Okay, so you have these 4 elements. And that is called ma'aseh hamitzvah, the action of the mitzvah. However, there are other mitzvot where the ma'aseh, the doing, maybe is not sufficient. For instance, the Torah says that twice a day you have to proclaim the unity of God. You have to say, Shema Israel. Listen, Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. You have to repeat this twice a day, when you get up in the morning and when you go to bed at night. Can I do this? And at the same time, while I'm saying it, think to myself, I shouldn't forget tomorrow morning that I have to take a certain book to the office because somebody asked me. While I'm saying these words, because I know them by heart. Did I fulfill the obligation? Of course not. In this case, you have to have intent. You have to think that when you say, listen, Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one, that means you enter into a relationship with the Lord. There is a Lord that told you how you have to behave in this world, that He is the supreme creator, that you were created by Him. All this you have to think at that time. And as here, there's not only ma'aseh mitzvah, what you are doing, it's also what your intent is. Kiyum mitzvah. When do you fulfill the mitzvah? You fulfill the mitzvah when you also think about these things. But even in regular law, I understand you also have the same thing. For instance, and when somebody commits a murder, it depends on intent. It depends on what he was trying to do. It isn't just the action. Many a time, what is behind the action is also very important. So in the world, you have two types of actions, so to speak. Some do not require so much intent, and others that require intent require thought also. You give help to somebody. Okay, the important thing is the $5 bill that you gave him. No question about it. But on the other hand, maybe you give it to him with a smile. You look at him in the eyes. You say, how are you? Can I help you with anything else? Of course, I can't solve all his problems, but I want to help you in some way. Maybe he has an opportunity to tell you what his misfortune is, so that he should be treated as a human being also. It isn't just sufficient with what I'm doing at the moment. Maybe I have to enter into a relationship with him as well. I have a parent who is in an old age home. So I go there once a month. Hello, how are you? Goodbye. Or do I try to establish some kind of rapport with this elderly parent, make him feel that he is still important in my life, that his sentiments matter to me very much? This is also in conversation with the other members of your family. It depends how you treat them. Is it just in order to fulfill superficially something, or because you have in mind something that is much deeper, deeper than just the words that you are saying right now? The Bible tells a story that our forefather Jacob sent his beloved son Joseph to look for his brethren that had gone for pasture far away to a city called Shechem. He told them, go to Shechem to find your brothers. Let's see how they are. So Joseph goes. However, when he gets to Shechem, they're not there. And he finds a man who tells him, I heard some people saying that had cattlemen, let's go to Dotan, is the name of the place. So he went to Dotan. And they were in Dotan, but as soon as they saw him, immediately it fell upon him. They threw him into a pit. They sold him as a slave. The entire downfall of the Jewish people, the period of slavery in Egypt, starts with that episode. So one of our interpreters says, why did Joseph go to Dotan? His father told him, go to Shechem. He should have gone to Shechem. He didn't see them. Go home. Why did he go further? Why did he complicate things? So he says, had he gone to Shechem and nothing else, he would have fulfilled the Maaseh HaMitzvah, Divrei Aviv. He would have fulfilled what his father told him. But was that what his father wanted? His father wanted he should find his brother. Retzon Aviv, the kiyum, the fulfillment really of the words of his father was to find his brethren. And that's what he did. So think about yourself when you do things just in order to say, I have done it, or whether there should be some sentiment, some reasoning, kindness behind what you're doing. Certainly, it'll be a much better world if we do things with a lot of intent, with thought, and with good feelings.